Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Dear student, hi. Good afternoon, good morning, and all good. We are starting FM, Financial Management. The previous name is F9. Me, myself, a little introduction. I'm the CEO of Abeel School of Accountancy. My teaching experience is, mashallah, more than 20 years. In FM, one of my student, the way back, he took world position. He scored 94 marks in FM, and the advanced paper of FM is AFM. Alhamdulillah, I have the. I would say I'm blessed with AFM world position as well. So I'm blessed with Alhamdulillah FM world position as well as AFM world position. So let's quickly discuss what is the paper pattern of financial management, how I'm going to teach you each and everything. And after, obviously, and what do we actually give you in our entire course? Let me first quickly discuss the paper pattern of financial management. Actually, in FM, we have in paper pattern, we have three sections: section A, B, and C. A very important point in section A and B, you don't need any Excel skill. But obviously, in section C, where the two long questions come, you need to have a Excel skill you need to learn. But a very good thing is, in ACCA, when it comes to Excel, the spreadsheet, you just need to know few, I would say, things, not more than that. For example, you need to know the sum formula, the drag option, and how do we just add and deduct, and how do we take power. These are the few things and few shortcuts which are available in financial management. So we'll be discussing each and everything. So number one, if you don't know anything about Excel, don't worry at all, because the 60% of the paper does not need that skill, but rest of the 40% does need that skill. And inshallah, after taking all the classes, you will be having a really good grip on that area as well. So in paper pattern, section A is having 15 multiple choice question. The each question is having 2 marks. And in that section A, 15 multiple choice question, examiner can ask them MCQs from any area of the syllabus. In section B, you will be having 3 objective test case questions. But in that section B, one question will have marks 10. But in section B, basically what happens, you will be having you will be given a small scenario. On each scenario, examiner will set 5 questions. So let me quickly tell you the paper pattern. In section A, you'll be having 15 multiple choice question with a worth, each question will have worth 2 marks, 30. When it comes to section B, so actually in section B, you will be given 3 questions. Each will have 10 marks. It means the total marks are 30. But what happens in section B, actually each question will have a little bit scenario. On that scenario, examiner will basically ask the 5 multiple choice questions. So in section B, you will be given a short, I would say, scenario, very short scenario. But on each scenario, examiner will actually going to ask 5 sub questions only on that scenario. Each will have 2 marks. So 3 questions into 10, 30 marks. Each question will contain 5 subparts. Each will have 2 marks. Section C is a long question. In section C, basically, you'll be having 2 long questions. Each will have 10 marks. So this is simply your paper pattern. Section A, 30 marks. Section B, 30 marks. And section C, 40 marks. Only for section C, examination team has categorically mentioned that on which area of the syllabus basically they will be asking the section C. One is working capital management. Second is investment appraisal. Working capital management is the syllabus area C. Investment appraisal, and the third one is business finance, which is the syllabus area E. Basically, in business finance, what number of topics they will be covered in business finance? One, the sources of finance covered in business finance. Second, the cost of capital. Third, theories relating to the capital structure. They all covered in actually business finance. So it is categorically mentioned by the examination team for the student. They have actually facilitated you by actually telling you that in section C on which area of the syllabus you need to focus. But when it comes to section A and B of the paper, you need to know the entire syllabus. And let me tell you one thing. In my course, inshallah, we'll cover each and everything. Means each and everything means each and everything. Okay. Now, let me quickly discuss the main areas of the syllabus and I'll give you the little bit idea of each and every area, inshallah. And then we'll be starting our financial management from the basic, and slowly and gradually we'll be covering each and everything. One more thing, each topic will be completed, whether it's past paper, whether it's kit questions. We'll be doing the long question as well as MCQs of the same syllabus area which we have covered. For example, if we have discussed investment appraisal, so we'll be doing the long questions as well as MCQs, and third, we'll be conducting test as well. So let me quickly tell you the syllabus. Number one, I'm just telling you the syllabus in which in a sequence which I'm going to follow in my syllabus. Number one, we'll be discussing investment appraisal. And investment appraisal is around 40% of your syllabus. So investment appraisal is approximately 40% of the syllabus. It means we have to spend a really good amount of time on this area. After investment appraisal, inshallah, we'll be discussing cost of capital. We'll be discussing cost of capital. I would say around 10 to 12% of the syllabus. After cost of capital, we'll be discussing sources of finance. In this sources of finance topic, we'll be discussing traditional sources of finance as well as Islamic sources of finance. Both are equally important. Then we'll discuss business valuation, how to value a business. Extremely important and easy area. After business valuation, we'll be discussing Forex, foreign exchange. On this topic, Forex, you'll be getting at least one question in section B having 10 marks. So at least one question will be in section B will be on this Forex topic. And in section B, we know that you will be having a small scenario. On that small scenario, examiner will ask the 5 questions. Each will have worth 2 marks. After the Forex, inshallah, we'll be discussing working capital management. Extremely important area, because working capital management is one of the main areas in your syllabus, in your section C, working capital management. Working capital management. Then we'll be discussing the dividend policy. Working capital management is around 15 to 20% of your syllabus. Dividend policy is very small, 2 to 3% of your syllabus. And after that, we'll discuss all the remaining areas of the syllabus. So this is the sequence in financial management which we are going to follow. Now, before starting investment appraisal, let me discuss few basic things relating to the financial management with you. Then inshallah, we'll start investment appraisal, which is going to be our first topic of financial management. Number one, the first thing is, if somebody is asking you a question that what is the objective of financial management? Repeat, the question is, what is the primary objective of financial management? Basically, the primary objective of financial management is to maximize the wealth of shareholder. So objective of financial management, the primary objective of financial management is to maximize the wealth of shareholders. The wealth of shareholders. Okay. Let me repeat. What is the primary objective of financial management? The primary objective of financial management is to maximize the wealth of shareholders, equity holders. Basically, they are the owner of the business. Now there's a question. The question is, we are saying that financial management means to maximize the wealth of shareholder. The question, now listen, the question is, how do we measure? How do we measure the wealth of shareholders? Repeat, how do we measure the wealth of shareholders? It's very simple. Now listen and listen carefully. The question is, how do we measure the wealth of shareholders? Look at the answer and try to concentrate on the answer. Now listen. By calculating market value of equity, you can measure the wealth of shareholders. You can say that it is universally acceptable. It is universally acceptable that by calculating market value equity, you can measure the wealth of shareholders. Basically, if the market value equity is increasing, then obviously the shareholders' wealth will increase. Repeat. For example, if you are a shareholder of a company, obviously you have invested in the shares of that company. Don't you think so? If the share price of that organization increases where you have invested, so obviously your wealth will increase. So let me repeat. The question is, how do we measure the wealth of shareholder? The answer is, it is universally acceptable by calculating the market value equity. You can measure the wealth of shareholders. Now the question arises, how do we calculate? How do we calculate? How do we measure? We are saying the wealth of shareholder will increase if the market value equity increases. How do we calculate market value equity? It's very, very simple. Let me tell you the formula. How do we calculate market value equity? Market value equity. All you need is, you need to know the issued shares. That organization has issued how many shares? Issued shares multiplied by current share price. Obviously, now you might be thinking, sir, how do we calculate issued shares? Very simple. How to calculate issued shares? That how many shares organization has issued, you need to know only two things. If you have the knowledge, information of two things, in fact, you can easily calculate issued shares. One, you need to know the share capital. Simply share capital divided by par value gives you issued shares. Share capital divided by par value will give you issued shares. So simply by calculating market value equity, you can measure the wealth of the shareholders. If the market value equity increases, then the wealth of the shareholder will increase. Another very important thing. There's another very interesting name available for the market value equity. How do we calculate market value equity? We need to have two things. One is issued shares and the second is current share price. Do you know this? Market value equity is also called market capitalization. Market value equity is also called market capitalization. Just for the sake of knowledge, I'm telling you. Market value equity. Another name for the market value equity is market capitalization. Another name for the market value equity is market capitalization. So if someone says market value of equity, someone else says market capitalization, is the same thing. Is equal to issued shares, and we know that how to calculate issued shares. Issued shares into current share price. Okay. Now one more thing, and on that thing actually we will going to close this lecture. So very first basic lecture in which I just wanted to tell you the paper patterns, flavors, and what we are going to cover. I'll tell you that also at the end, inshallah. Very simple question. How do we calculate the value? How do we basically measure the wealth of shareholder? We know that by calculating the market value equity, we actually measure the wealth of the shareholders. If the market value equity increases, the wealth of the shareholder will increase. Now listen, if you are a shareholder of XYZ organization, so basically if you are a shareholder of any organization, you will get the return from that company maximum in two ways. Repeat. If you are a shareholder of a company, let's say APLC, you're a shareholder of a APLC, then you will be getting return from that organization in two ways. One, you will be getting a return in the form of dividend, and second, you will be getting a return in the form of capital gain. Repeat, if you are a shareholder of any organization, then you will get the return maximum in two ways. One is the capital gain, another is the dividend income. So if someone asks you a question, calculate the total shareholders return. The question is calculate what? Total shareholders return. So how do we calculate the total shareholders return? It's very simple. Let me give you a question. Assuming on 1/1/2023, we have a current share price. Current share price is assuming $20. December 2023, the current share price is $24. Okay. And company has given dividend of, let's say, $2 per share required. The required is calculate total shareholders return. Total shareholders return. We simply need to calculate total shareholders return. As we discussed earlier, then when you are a shareholder of any organization, you will be getting a return from that organization in two ways. One is dividend, another is the capital gain. Now let us try to calculate total shareholders return. How do we calculate? It's very simple. Total shareholders return. One, I need dividend. The dividend they have given to me, which is 2. Second, please now try to understand. Now I need capital gain. Initially, at 1/1/2023, the share price was 20. Initially, at the start of the year, the share price is 20, and at the year end, the share price is 24. Repeat. Initially, the share price was 20. At the year end, the share price is 24. It means there's a capital gain of 4. Because initially it was 20, now it is 24. The rise in the share price which has come in this year, it is $4, and that will work as capital gain. So it means the dividend is 2, the capital gain is 4, the amount of investment is 20. Actually, whoever has invested in this organization at the start of the year, obviously that particular shareholder had invested $20. Then I have in the rate, and this shareholder is actually enjoying two things in the form of return. One is the dividend of $2, another the capital gain of $4. Multiply by 100 to get the percentage. So simply 6 divided by 20 is, I believe, 30%. So the total shareholder return is 30%. So how do we calculate shareholders return? What do you need? Number one, you need a share price at the start of the year. You need a share price at the start of the year. To find out the capital gain, you need a share price at the end of the year. So the difference between current share price at the start of the year and the current share price at the end of the year, the difference is actually capital gain. Because there's a rise of $4, that is your capital gain. An organization has paid a dividend of $2. So simply the total shareholders return is actually 30%. Okay. One more question, then we'll end the video to attempt this question. Let's say total shareholders return is 20%. Dividend per share is let's say $2. Current share price is $20. What do we need? Required. Calculate calculate share price at the end of the year. So total shareholders return is 20%, dividend per share is $2, current share price is $20 at the start of the year. So total shareholder return is 20%, dividend per share is $2, and the current share price is $20 at the start of the year. My requirement is calculate share price at the end of the year, and I really want every one of you to answer this question. And you can give your answer reply on our YouTube channel. And before I just end the session, in the next video, I'll post the answer on this question. Don't worry at all. Let me tell you one thing. We'll be discussing in financial management each and everything, long questions, MCQs, each and every theoretical area of the financial management will be covered. So in my lecture, you will be getting exactly the balance. I'll maintain the balance between theory and numerics as well. We need to give the equal importance to the theoretical areas also. So don't worry at all, because I'm not only teaching financial management, I do teach advanced financial management as well. And as I did mention, in both the topics, both the subjects, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with the world positions. So joining Abeel Ahmed of Accountancy means you will be in safe hands, and don't worry at all. Let me just quickly give you the WhatsApp number of our ASA, Abeel School of Accountancy. So 0092333666 That is our WhatsApp number. For further queries, you are more than welcome to ask any question you want to ask. So inshallah, in the next video, I'll be posting the answer of this question. And from here onwards, inshallah, after discussing this question, I will discuss a little bit more area relating to the wealth of the shareholders, and then inshallah we will start investment appraisal. So thank you very much watching this lecture, and instead of having a nice day, I would say have a nice life. Thank you very much.